Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, Namo Buddhaya, everybody, brothers and sisters here. Thank you so much for coming over. So today's occasion very special over here. It's also to welcome Bhante Ariyadhammika. He just came back from his, from his home country, that is Austria. He came back last night, I believe so. Okay, we are seeing him very, very healthy, very, very good. Okay, so we are very happy to have Bhante here back with us. And we are also, glad that another two Sangha members from SDS are able to join us. And of course, from Arya Vihara, we have Aya, Mangala, and Samanaris all with us here today. Okay. So I think let's all say sadhu 3 times. I will now pass the mic on to Bhante to continue with Dhamma talk. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Brother and Kyung, for your introduction and lively presentation of the purpose of sewing ropes and also the wholesome intentions connected with this wonderful activity. And I think you also highlighted already one of the aspects that I also personally find very important in this context, which is that this is not just about getting the ropes ready and then giving them away. It's an opportunity for all of us, all of you who participate, to work together, for the Dhamma friends to come together and prepare the ropes, practice mindfulness, practice patience. I'm sure many of you who have been involved sewing ropes or sewing anything requires a lot of patience. Sometimes you make a mistake, you have to pick it again. And so mindfulness, patience, many qualities you need at that time. But most importantly, also we do it together with our Kalyana Mittas, with our Dhamma friends. And in this way, you're actually following a very ancient tradition. If we look back in the Buddhist history, the idea of making ropes together dates back all the way to the Buddha himself. Where at that time in ancient India, the Buddha, at the end of the Vasa, at the end of the rainy season, the Buddha says, if the monks and nuns want to get some special privileges where they can be separated from the ropes for a while, or where they can be going to visit houses without even asking for permission, and some other smaller benefits. If they want to get those benefits, he encourages them to stay back and sew their ropes together. And sewing the whole ropes together, the whole Sangha, is an opportunity for the more senior Sangha members to pass on that skill, that knowledge to the more junior Sangha members. And in this way, they're working together on at least one rope or a set of ropes. So this is done traditionally at the end of the Vasa at the Katina ceremony. Have you heard about Katina? Yeah. So this is the purpose of Katina. And traditionally, the monks and nuns are doing this on their own. And that's the time where the senior ones will pass on the knowledge, the experience, and show the junior ones how to do it. It's not only about cutting the cloth, measuring it, and sewing it, but also about dyeing it afterwards, to put the color in. So there are many steps involved in this process. And doing it together is also an activity that fosters harmony and friendship. And just now when you said, there's been somebody who volunteered to offer the whole ropes. I will make the whole rope for all of you. That's very kind, but actually that's not the purpose. The purpose is not that we have to finish the rope. The purpose is that we work together. That you come together at regular intervals and work on this together, practice mindfulness, develop those Dhamma qualities, and that we establish a connection with our Dhamma friends. This is actually the deeper purpose. Of course, we also want to offer the robes to the Buddha when we go to India. But to me, personally, it's almost like a secondary benefit. The main benefit is actually meeting with Dhamma friends, working on this wholesome project together. Because what else would you do together? Well, what do you do when you meet your friends? enjoy sense pleasures, going eating, no? Or shopping, jalan, all these kind of things. But then, very rarely do we do something very spiritual or very wholesome together, like Dhamma practice, or meditation, or listening to the Dhamma, or in this case, making a robe for the Buddha. So the spirit of that is what really counts. It's not the end product. So in this way, you follow a very ancient lineage, a very ancient practice, just like the ancient Theras and Mahatheras who are sewing their robes together with the junior monks. The same way, many of you have been working together so that when we go to pilgrimage in November, we'll have an opportunity to offer those robes to the Buddha. I'm sure the Buddha will be very happy. I also heard that you've been moving to a new location. Are you still using also the previous place, or are you having two monasteries now?
We have one going to be built, which is Ariyadhammika.
Say again.
Yeah, we have relocated to a premise where is offered by Daika, and so we are operating from that shop lot, 2 levels. But we also have Avia land, which was given by the government.
Okay.
And we are in the midst of getting approval from the government for the project to be constructed. Probably by end of this year, hopefully. So we just moved and settled down, and the other one is ongoing, and it depends on how much fund we collected. Then that will be how fast it will be built. Thank you, Bhante.
So, wonderful to hear the Dhamma is flourishing here in Malaysia. Can I switch it? The Dhamma is flourishing here in Malaysia, not just for the Bhikkhu Sangha, but also for female counterparts, where traditionally in many Buddhist countries, even like Thailand, Sri Lanka, and Burma, often you find that the support is actually much less than for the Bhikkhu Sangha. And very often, like Burma, I've seen that the nuns actually have to work while doing their Dhamma practice. Some of them, they're going in the morning time, they're selling biscuits or some bakery. They're walking around with a big basket on their head and going from house to house to earn a little bit of money because they're not so well supported. So I hope none of you is walking around with a basket on your head. That's a good sign already. But nonetheless, also very inspiring to hear that you've been able to transition to a new place. And on the topic of robes, again, it's not only the robes that the Sangha needs. Also, there are many types of support that you can give. And more often than not, it's actually not the material thing that the Sangha needs, but it's often help. Help with setting up something or organizing an event. That kind of voluntary work is often even more scarce or difficult to get compared to funds or resources. Both, of course, is necessary and helpful and appreciated, but also for us to understand that even if you might not have a lot of material wealth to contribute, just by offering your time, your service, that can be, in many cases, even more important and more helpful and needed than just a few ringgits. Actually, remembering that many of you have been sewing, can you raise your hands? Maybe not all of you have been sewing together, just roughly to see how many of you were actively involved here, either with cutting or sewing the ropes. Can you raise your hand quickly? Oh, quite a number, okay. Not here, but different times. I'm curious from your experience, in terms of Dhamma qualities, what is the quality that you find that you have developed the most while sewing the ropes or while measuring or while cutting? What kind of Dhamma qualities is the ones that was most helpful to you during that process? I'm curious to find out. Anyone? What is it?
We work together very well. We coordinate very well with each other.
Coordination?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Coordination, being cooperative, yeah. That's actually quite important, because if you work with others and you always want to get it done your own way, there might be tension. The same also applies to cooking. Many monasteries, women particularly come together to cook and provide for the monks. It's very inspiring and very helpful. At the same time, also we often notice, kitchen area, it's like a war zone. Even the monks don't dare to go there. Everybody has his own ideas, you have to do like this, no, don't do like that, too much salt. So working together is actually not so easy, especially if you have some skill. Another person might do it a little bit differently, but often different ways can still lead to a same or similar result. So sometimes even not getting it done in our own preferred way. Number one, you learn something, and number two, it's a good practice of letting go. It may just go with the flow, go with the group. It doesn't have to be done exactly the way I want it. So cooperation is something you learn when you do that. Which other Dhamma quality or quality is helpful? Mindfulness. If you're not mindful, you can't sew a straight line, become crooked. But then the Buddha has to wear crooked robes. I see. Then we will always know who has been sewing it. In fact, once you have sewn a rope on your own, you can always recognize your own rope. Actually, the rope I sew for myself, I would always know, because there's always some smaller things here, but the corner a bit different. You can recognize. You don't have to write your name or anything. But mindfulness indeed is very important actually when you sew. And just a few seconds, lack of mindfulness, you think something else, off you go. And then, what happens then? Once you've made a mistake, exactly, you have to pick it. So sewing fast, usually you don't end up very quickly, very fast. Because the time you spend for doing things too fast, you invest 3 times and 5 times over by picking afterwards and having to do it again. Especially if you realize it only much later, after having sewn 3 lines on top of it. Really troublesome. So mindfulness is very important. What else? How about letting go? Can you repair every single mistake? Because naturally, sometimes there's a small blemishes or something not quite straight. But if even a small line not completely straight, you think, I have to repair that now, pick it up again. You will never finish. So sometimes also you have to accept that things are not perfect. There is no single rope that is going to be perfect. I will check later. Maybe you'll surprise me. So there is no perfection in anything that we do. So there's always going to be some blemishes. So sewing is also an exercise in letting go of maybe your perfectionism, of having to have the perfect rope. And sometimes if it's just a smaller mistake or smaller thing that's not optically or visually so appealing, but you still caught it, you didn't fall off the rails completely, it's okay, it can still be used. So this way also is a very important lesson of letting go and evaluating, is this really important? Is it really essential? Or is it something I'm spending a lot of time for improving something that has only a very tiny, minute improvement? Or maybe nobody will even see it. For example, now if you look at the monks here and the nuns here, did you check out our robes? Can you see whether the lines are exactly straight or not? You cannot, right? We can. But nobody else cares. Right? So it's the same with your own clothes. You might take your clothes so seriously and you spend a lot of time finding the right combination and improving small and minor things. But really, almost nobody is so deeply interested in that other than yourself. And almost nobody really looks so closely. So again, very oftentimes there might be worries or fears, or we invest a lot of time or money in things that are trifling, that make almost no difference. So when we can let go of that, you get a sense of ease, letting go, lightness. And those things that are really important, like right speech, mindfulness, wisdom, learning, there we can then invest our time, rather than investing it in things that are not so essential. We put our time at good use towards things that are truly important. Like the Buddha said, the days and nights are relentlessly passing. How well am I spending my time? Life is short. Everything that is short or scarce has high value. Like gold. Gold has high value because it doesn't grow on trees. If it would grow on trees, it would be very easily available, the value would be very low. Life also is short, is limited. So therefore, it's in our own best interest to evaluate what kind of activities are we going to spend our life, our time with, and which kind of activities are mostly maybe a waste of time. How many minutes or hours a day am I spending on the phone, checking social media, watching cat videos, whatever. Yeah. And how much time am I spending in meditation, or with my family, or sewing ropes? You decide for yourself if sewing ropes belongs into which category. There might be different opinions even among the monastics, but so in this way, we incorporate the Buddha's teachings of cooperation, mindfulness, letting go into this activity of making the robes. And then out comes this wonderful project and this wonderful cloth garment that we will have an opportunity to offer to the Buddha as an expression of our respect, of our gratitude towards this wonderful teacher. So I'm very uplifted and very happy to see so many of you dedicating your time, your efforts towards this very meaningful project. And I'm hoping that, well, at some point it will come to an end also, but also the ending is not the goal of it. The goal is the work, the process itself, the collaboration, the heavy, mindful and wholesome mental state is its own reward. And that's the thing that really counts. So I leave it at that for today, and I wish you all the best for the continuation of this project. And I'm looking forward to doing the pilgrimage together with all of you, or those who are joining, where we then have the wonderful opportunity to present the robes also to our great teacher, the Buddha. So I'm curious, would it be possible at some point to see the big robe also, the Maha Uttara Sangha? Where can we do that?
Bhante, before we go on and we thank you for your kindness in allowing everyone, all the brothers and sisters here to partake in this project. But also,
Would you like to take a mic?
maybe.
Bhante, on behalf of all the brothers and sisters here, we thank you for your kindness in allowing us to be able to partake in this project, and also for Ayah Sumangala and the seminaries for helping guide this process through. And like Bhante said, that this is a very wholesome project, and although we've been working on it, people I think have indicated their intention to want to do a little bit more. And may I formally seek Bhante's permission that the team here can also sew some robes for the Sangha members for SPS.
Maha Chibara, another big robe, and one big robe, we can fit the whole month's first blessings. That's a very good idea. I'm looking forward to that. We can also include the nuns, it's okay. The two ones, Maha and the Chula. So, yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. We can think of if there's any rope projects. Now currently our monks, those who ordain, they are sewing their own ropes. So for those monks, I won't let you sew their ropes because I want them to learn on their own to sew their ropes. So, and here Harold, for example, is sitting there in the second row, He will be one of the next ordination candidates. I'm sure he would be very happy to receive your robes, but I won't give permission. So sorry. Yeah, yes. But those who want, you can ordain, then you can sew your own robe. That was Ariyadhammika's suggestion right now. I didn't say that.
No, we did not ordain, we are ordained.
I see. Now, actually, there's one occasion once a year where in SPS we do need robes, where even those monks who have been ordained since long time, which is on Katina Day, where every day on Katina Day, every monk is presented with one set of robes, every monastic. And typically, we have about 20 to 30 monks at that time in SPS. So in the past, in SPS, in Taiping itself, we have a sewing team, a little bit like yours, who have been sewing the robes every year for Katina Day. But if you are just in the mood and already very well established team of making robes, and if you would like to make also robes for SPS Sangha at that time, I think I could speak with them and ask them whether they want to take a break for a year. Or maybe divide it half-half. Typically, maybe we need about 10, 15 robes at a time. And I don't know whether you have the capacity for that, but then however many robes you would like to make, we can see and collaborate in this way. So in this way, if you like, there might be a chance to maybe also make some robes for SPS, which can then be offered on Katina Day to the resident Sangha. Would it be in line with your ambitions? Yes? Okay. Okay, wonderful. People in Taiping will be very happy that they can take a break for a year. So then, shall we have a look?